Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Kelvin Gastelum versus Chris Curtis. Kelvin Gastelum, 17 wins, 8 losses, 1-4 in his last 5 fights. 31 years old. It's crazy how long he's been around. 5'9" with a 71.5-inch reach. Chris Curtis, 30 wins, 9 losses, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Is 35 years old, 5'10" with a 75.5-inch reach, 3.5-inch reach advantage for Chris, the action man, Curtis. Kelvin Gastelum, I mean, again, the one win he got was against Ian Heinisch 2 years ago. Was able to use his wrestling. Still didn't look that good in that fight. Just hasn't been the same fighter. Hasn't really pulled the trigger like he had previously, or like he had when he fought Israel Adesanya. And again, since he's fought Izzy, he lost a close, non-action-packed fight against Darren Till, split decision 3 years ago. Then he lost to Jack Hermansson, who he did look fast. He did look good early in that fight. Just got caught with a heel hook in that one. Again, came back against Ian Heinisch, wrestled heavy in that fight. Then fought Robert Whittaker and just, I think he took that fight on short notice. But either way, just, outworked, just the better fighter. Whittaker won that one. Then he fought Jared Cannonier a year and a half ago. And Jared Cannonier just stayed back, waited for Gastelum, knew Gastelum was going to come in, and was able to hurt him a couple times in some in the pocket sometimes. And Jared has some big power. Kelvin Gastelum shows how much of a dog he is. He always shows how much of a dog he is. But the issue is in this fight is Curtis is always going to be putting the pressure on, always, and Kelvin's always going to be using movement, and he's going to be the faster puncher. He just is. Now, Curtis is really good at defending takedowns. Defended a lot of takedowns. Did lose against Jack Hermansson. I don't think he took that fight also on short notice, but I don't think he expected Hermansson to use as much movement as he did. We've seen how frustrated he was in that fight. But it was a closer fight than people think it was. Don't think Chris Curtis won. Not what I'm saying at all. But it was a close fight. Hermansson kind of used his movement, used that stuck on the outside of his jab. Didn't play that game with Chris Curtis. Great game plan from Jack Hermansson. Chris Curtis just couldn't figure that one out. Again, short notice fight as well. Did come back and defeat Joaquin Buckley. In a fight, he seemed a step behind or trying to get the reads on Joaquin. Joaquin talked a lot of shit coming up to that fight. Was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I said I don't like the way Joaquin Buckley's kind of talking past Chris Curtis. I don't like it, and it really costed him in that fight. And it's hard for me to pick against Kelvin. I'm a big Kelvin fan. I've been watching him for also a long time. Really good dude. Really fun fighter. But the reality is in this fight, he's fighting a guy who defends his takedowns better, does hit harder, even though he may be a little slower than Kelvin Gastelum. We're going to get a really good fight. And I do think the difference is going to be, Chris Curtis has 39 fights. He knows how to win it. Kelvin, if his gas tank can hold up, which it typically does, he could be the more output fighter. This fight, I think, is going to be really close, really good, and I'd like to see Kelvin use more of that movement, but I do have Chris Curtis slightly winning a decision. I don't see either man really getting a finish. Again, Kelvin's never been finished before besides a couple submissions, never finished with punches, has been dropped a lot more since the Israel Adesanya fight. Is just nature of the game, I think. Fighting Izzy and getting beat up late in that fight as much as he had. Again, I like Chris Curtis in this one. I think he's just more of a dog. I think he puts his combinations together a little bit better. But again, the movement, the speed, the angles from Gastelum can cause some issues. So betting wise, nice bets maybe on Gastelum, but I have the action man winning this fight. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you guys think. Give the video a thumbs up, as well. And as always, guys, peace.